All right, everyone, welcome back to another brand new episode of Did That Age Well? I am so excited today to welcome my new friend, Melissa Leavenworth. Yay! Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. What do you have going on? What's going on in your creative world, or I guess, we can also just talk about what's going on. How are you?
Yeah. Well, I'm doing well. I have a lot going on. I have a lot of projects all the time. I'm mostly doing...
You're a project person.
Yeah. I'll do like a little bit, and then 8 months later I'll revisit and do some more. So
Absolutely.
I have a little bracelet company. I make little bracelets, and then I have it's kind of like a digital marketing company for comedians. So it's basically just like building websites and then teaching them how to kind of use social media and stuff to their advantage.
Cool.
But I'm also on the roast battle August 9th in Denver. It's like Colorado Springs versus Fort Collins.
Oh my God, cool. Which team are you representing?
I'm on the Fort Collins team, and cool. I'm from Aurora originally, so I'm trying to bring some ferocity to them because they don't shit talk enough. Am I allowed to, I don't know if I can cuss.
Yeah, you can.
I can curse.
You can
Okay.
let it rip.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah. You can say basically whatever you want, but I do tell people, I'm like, every so often my mom listens, but my parents were here for a live show that I did last weekend, and I did talk about someone being like cunty, and I was like, well, you know what, my parents, they know I'm a grown human.
Yeah.
With a foul mouth.
Them.
Yeah, I think so. Not that my parents aren't angels either. They've got foul mouths too. Just because they're parents doesn't mean that all of a sudden they just become squeaky clean. Yeah. I feel like now that I am at an age where friends of mine are parents, I'm like, it's so funny to think that my parents were people.
Yeah. I always think about how old I am compared to when my mom was that age when I was a kid.
Right.
So when I was 7, I would be my mom was 28.
What?
And I'm yeah, so I'm just if I had it that would be me with an 8-year-old child in my life. And I'm just I couldn't fucking fathom it.
My God.
I was talking to my friend. She's like, I can't afford multivitamins. I was like, yeah, you ain't having babies anytime soon. And that's the real. I'm you used to just this isn't PC at all. But I was talking to her and I was getting having a teen pregnancy used to be a luxurious possibility. You can't afford teen pregnancy at all anymore.
No.
All my family had kids so young.
Yeah.
And I'm just that just you can't.
In this economy?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm you can't fathom a multivitamin. You ain't have a baby.
Yeah, you can't have a baby. God, yeah, that's so true. In this economy? Dude.
No way.
Well, what else is going on with you?
That's kind of... I'm about to turn 30. So
Shut up, me too.
When is your birthday?
July 25th. When's yours?
That's so close. Mine's August 10th. So
oh my God, happy almost birthday.
Happy almost birthday. Are you a Leo?
I am.
Perfect, I love it.
And so are you.
Yes. Good company.
Oh my God. And happy Leo season, everyone. Yes. We are recording this at the very beginning of Leo season.
I love it.
Love that.
I want to go out to Moab because I love it out there, and usually I try to get out there when it's the best time of the year to photograph the Milky Way, but August isn't. But Michelle Wolf is playing at Wise Guys on my birthday in Salt Lake City, so I was I could drive.
Oh my gosh, you could
for it.
It's gonna be really hot in Moab.
I actually looked it up, and it's been hotter in Fort Collins recently than it will be when we go out there.
Shut up.
So.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, you know what? Might as well.
Yeah, it's been ridiculously hot. And then,
Cool.
I got this mattress for the back of my Subaru, so I'll just sleep in it and then come back.
God, cool.
It's fun.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that you're a little nomad.
No, I don't want a van life. I need a shower.
The other day, I was trying to describe someone why van lifers are so annoying, and I had such a hard time articulating it. I was they're just so... And then they're like, so what? I'm I just so
smelly. disgusting.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like a pretentious, like, I don't know. It feels kind of pretentious.
I think that there is so much. It's all the branding, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are people who live in vans. There always have been. Since vans were invented, there have been people living in them. But you know what really grinds my gears is van lifers who, like, have a little, like, setup for them to, like, work their tech job and make, like, $95K and then go, like, freeload off of their friends so that they can go take a shower and be climbers and be like, I'm better than you.
Or they're
you
property managers and they're like...
Yes.
No, I think it's like... It sounds nice. I like civilization. I like a shower. I have about 3 days max camping before I'm like, I need a shower.
Yeah.
And I think it's also like if I had $80,000 to soup up an old van, I would also probably put a computer desk in it. I don't know. It's different. I don't have enough money to be
picky with your
some
van.
of it is like, oh, you can travel cheap, but it's like some of these people are just like trust fund kids. So I don't know. You know, the internet's crazy.
The internet is crazy. Today, I was reading about how there's like more retirees than ever who are doing like RV life. I think kind of the next generation's version of van life, you know, a few more creature comforts, but like there's something about that I find really like sweet and romantic. I'm like, oh, I love that for them. But I think that that's because like when you're old, everything's kind of sweet.
Yeah, I saw a version of that, but cruise ships. Like it's apparently cheaper to just hop cruise ships than it is to pay for a retirement home. I was like, sick.
Wow, sick. But that also sounds like my nightmare. Have you ever been on a cruise?
No, but I've seen enough true crime to know there's no actual police force and a lot of people get murdered. A lot of people. I don't know the numbers, but
it's too high to count. Frankly.
Exactly, and the same with like van lifing when you're really old. I've seen some stories about older people that are like a mile off the trail that die because they just get a little turned around. So it's
they're like, oh no, I forgot my map.
Yeah.
So everyone be careful, okay? We just need to be careful out there.
Stay inside.
Stay inside.
In Fort Collins, they just uncovered a rattlesnake den, and they won't tell people where it is because they don't want people to destroy it. But I want them to tell me where it is so I can vehemently avoid it. I am so against accidentally wandering to the den. Because we hike up the canyon sometimes. It's like really popular.
Yeah,
and so I was like, it's got to be close. How did they find it? They're not just like deep in the, you know.
They're not, and you don't go looking for it. You know, they must have stumbled upon it.
Exactly.
Okay, when I was living in Fort Collins a long time ago, I saw a rattlesnake on a trail once. So you know what?
We saw 3 the other day on one hike. It was like in a gulch, and I've never seen that many in my life. So then we read about those. Sorry, I'm like getting all like
oh my god
about it. Then we saw the den on the news, and I was like, "Girl, we're not going outside ever again. We're just like indoors only." I'll watch the Crocodile Hunter old archives.
Absolutely. Oh my god, that is so scary. I need them to tell us.
Well, you're supposed to be. They're supposedly not overly aggressive animals. They just get threatened like everything else. So you're supposed to keep your distance and stuff, but it's hard to remind your like fight or flight when it's like snake, and then you're like,
and also if they told us where it was, I could keep my distance.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But I think some people would set it on fire, and that's what they...
You think
but
so?
I would keep a secret about it.
Do you really think that people would set it on fire?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the Fort Collins, they're crazy, man. Like on the Reddit, last year there was a lot of cats going missing, and people would be like, "I'm gonna find your cat and kill your cat." What? So it was like, yeah, people are nuts, man, and they're all on the internet. Just
wow, you have a lot of good material for your roast battle. Oh wait, no, you're on Team Fort Collins.
I'm on. So. Yeah, don't air this before. Don't give Fat any more juice against me.
Oh my god.
No. Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah, the Colorado Springs, they're pretty mean. They'll get us. I mean, I have faith in us because I have aggression that I think makes up for some of the lack of aggression on my team. We just need more shit talk. is what we need.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what I keep trying to say. And then they're like, what if we don't get over cocky? And I'm like, that's the game.
No, that's the game.
Yeah.
If you hesitate, that's when people say, excuse me.
Exactly.
Do you know who you are? This is a roast. That's what I think. Anyway, I really hope that nobody sets the rattlesnakes on fire. And I also hope that they just tell us where it is so that we know to avoid it. Let's talk about Daria.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had mentioned to me a while ago, you were like, hey, look, if you need someone to talk about how Daria holds up perfectly, ask me. And I said, this is a person with conviction, and I need you on my show. And I want to know, what do you think makes Daria hold up so perfectly?
Okay.
In a nutshell. I know we'll talk about it for the next, 45 minutes, but
I think that it kind of comes down to just like a good commentary on social issues that has held up. And since we last talked, there's a few instances where I was like, okay, maybe that part didn't hold up quite as well, which I'll talk about. But I think that overall it talks about like racial issues and like tokenization, and a lot, it like honestly addresses mental health issues and a lot of things, but it doesn't use like the vocabulary we have for those things now. So like they address trauma in some ways, but they don't really call it trauma, and like that kind of stuff. So I think that overall, like there's not a lot in there. There's really almost nothing in there where when I rewatch it when I'm almost 30, where I'm like, ooh, that makes me feel gross, you know, or like icky about like how, ooh, like that didn't age well. So I think that it stands up really well over time. And I really love it because like when I was young, I think I was probably like 4. My dad was probably like 26, but he used to watch Beavis and Butthead a lot. So I don't remember specifically a lot of that, but it was like what do they call it when they release? It's a spinoff. Yeah. So it was the spinoff of it. And then I kind of started watching it when I was a little bit older. So it was like a way to kind of feel connected to him. And
that's cool.
Like that kind of thing. So I think I can't say if it's held up better. Like I said, I tried to watch Beavis and Butthead to see if I could like talk about that as well, and it was just absolutely hideous and terrifying. And so I was like, I get my dad was like, he liked like grotesque kind of stuff, and I'm the complete, I don't like, like surrealist, not really. So I tried to watch it, and I think I would make it like 7 minutes in and be like, oh, I feel a little nauseous. Like, what am I doing? And then I would be like, okay, give it one more shot. And it just like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, it's just not happening. So
you gave it a try, and that's all you can do.
Yeah. But like King of the Hill is really good too. Like Mike Judge, I think, was like a really good writer, and just like
Silicon Valley.
Great. That was good. I think some of the stuff in King of the Hill aged worse. But Daria, I think out of everything that I've seen, kind of stood the test of time the best.
Yeah, I think that there's really something to be said for the character who is cynical and hard to get a reaction out of. Like, a character like that has so much power to be able to say the things that others are thinking but don't have like the right language or style to say, or like to be able to point things out in a really comical way. Like, she's funny because she's so deadpan. Yeah. And I think that Daria really is, I agree that it's probably the Mike Judge show that aged the best. And I also didn't really get into Daria until like this year. So I feel like I am like 20 years late. However, I do think that watching it as a 30-year-old, I was like, oh my God, I wish I watched this in high school. Yeah. I think I would have loved it in high school. What was I doing? My homework?
Yeah, I think she's really relatable in terms of like, I don't know, I love her apathy almost. Like she's super highly intellectual, so she is they're always trying to push her to do extracurriculars or get good grades, and she kind of just doesn't give a shit. She's like, I get I'm smart, this is all bullshit. And it's like, I remember I cared a lot about my grades when I was in high school, and I really like enjoyed school, but I remember like parts of me that were pushed to do a bunch of shit I didn't want to do. And it would have been nice to like have the balls and like the apathy to just be like, I don't want to do a fucking after school club. Yes. No, this is bullshit. And like, and also the wherewithal to tell an adult or your parent, like, no, this is fucking lame.
And she's so, totally. And she's so intelligent and has such sound reasoning that you really can't, there's like no argument against anything that she says, really. Like she's so articulate, and even though she'll talk about things in such a deadpan way, like such an emotionless way, you can tell that she is just a principled person. Like really like she's comes off apathetic because she has such strong beliefs that everything else that falls outside of that, she doesn't care. You know, it's not that she's just like totally nihilist and is like nothing matters. She's like, there are only a few things that matter, and it's the stuff that I like and believe in, and everything else is pointless to me. And
as I get older, I think I actually like see Helen's character more fully, like as like just a badass lawyer mom. There's this like one really good scene where like Daria and Jody are kind of like disagreeing about a school project, and I think it's like this situation where Jody ends up taking money from someone who is like treating her differently because Jody's black, and then like Jody kind of uses it to her advantage, and Daria's like, yo, what the hell, like that's not morally sound. And then her mom kind of says something like, you know, Daria, you have like really high expectations that no one can really live up to, not even yourself. And so I like, those are some things that like I think if I had learned when I was like younger, like just to hear like small sentences like that are like so like impactful, because it's like she does hold everybody to like a really high standard, and that kind of thing, especially when you see how she treats Quinn and like kind of like thinks lesser of Quinn because she's like really into like looks and stuff like that. And so it's like I don't know, there's some really like good nuggets of just things that are like articulated really well that I think would have been valuable if I had heard when I was like younger, you know, because I watched it I think in like right after college or like right toward the end of college maybe. But I didn't really watch it like when it came out. I was too young for it, so it's like same. some of the stuff is really cool. But
I think it's a great show to watch at any age. However, I agree too that I wish that I had watched it in high school. I mean, for the reasons I said too, but I just think that characters like Helen, really every character in this show, there aren't really just like good and bad characters. Like Helen could so easily be just like a really bitchy, oblivious working mom, you know, but instead, like, even though there are so many moments along the way where we make fun of her, there's that iconic scene of her talking to the principal about that art piece. That iconic episode.
Like, and she comes in clutch for her kids.
She really does. She's really looking out for her kids, and she really sometimes she'll be like, similar to Daria, like she'll be kind of the voice of reason when no other adult will be, and I think that's so fun. Helen's such a badass. It's so funny Helen. To like see Jake in comparison to like just completely stricken with anxiety and like just she's always just like, okay, I'll handle it kind of thing. And I don't know, I feel like that was really true in my childhood, was like really strong women that were taking care of stuff. So I was like, I don't know, it's funny. I love the one where he starts to like gets that drug pamphlet, and then he like thinks she's doing drugs, and she's so just funny. Like, he's like, are your eyes open? And he's just freaking out about it. And she's like, chill the fuck out. Like, I don't know. She's so witty too with the way she like talks about them. Like there's that one moment where they're talking about trust, and she's like, then let me take your car or whatever. Like, those are good. But I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about her friendship with Jane. So I think, what I really like about their friendship is that for the most part, their friendship is, it's like a Bechdel test dream. Like they talk about everything, and it doesn't all come back to like talking about a boy or like how a boy is involved
until Tom gets introduced.
And here's the thing is that the Tom thing doesn't bother me. Like it doesn't bother me that they introduce the Tom storyline later, because they've already established for like 3 seasons the rapport between these two girls, and they have this like full friendship, and like they're truly like full dynamic characters. But then it kind of shows us that like Daria is being kind of shitty.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like,
she was, and it makes you feel shitty when you watch it. You're just like, God damn it, Daria, no.
Daria.
But did you see there's in addition to like the normal seasons, there's like 2 movie specials.
Yeah.
And like, okay, this is one of the things that I think aged poorly is that I think if Daria had come out later, like closer to this time, Jane Lane would have hella been gay, just like completely gay. There's the whole arc in the summer camp where the girl comes on to her and then she gets all weirded out by it and kind of freaks out. And I just really think Jane Lane would have been into it, honestly. Like she's the artsy, like, okay. And then the other thing that ages quite poorly is when she unconsensually live streams like people in her bedroom.
That doesn't
But that was
well.
so early internet, we didn't have internet ethics yet, and I just
it was the Wild West out there. Honestly. Okay, I feel like from the beginning I have a hard time trying to figure out if Jane and Daria are queer coded, like if their friendship is like a queer coded friendship, or if it's like not even necessarily that like the two of them have romantic feelings for each other, but it kind of feels like they're both sort of little weirdos.
I think Jane Lane's gay. I think the zoot suit guy was a total beard, because who in the straight mind would date the zoot suit guy?
No.
But okay, so then you have like, she's super into Trent. Daria like loves Trent, and it's like, I remember having like a crush on someone's older brother kind of situation when I was younger.
Tale as old as time.
And then, but like now I'm like, my best friend and I feel like we do get the like, are they gay or are they friends kind of thing. So I'm like, I feel like they were just friends.
Yeah.
And she really was hung up on Trent, and she was way too smart for him. Mm-hmm. And Jane Lane was just like gay.
Yeah, I think that they were both gay, but not necessarily gay for each other.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also would have loved to see like a Jane Lane Quinn situation. I think
that would have been so funny. The friend and the older brother, and then the friend and the younger sister.
I just think like Jane was so like anti, like girly also, that it would just be like a fun secret.
I think that would be such a fun secret. That's
canon
the
now.
hero we need. That's canon now. Another really cool thing that I think that they addressed in this show, again, like in a way that wasn't heavy-handed. Like Daria was never heavy-handed. It was never like after school special, like here's a lesson.
I think the closest was when the football player died, like the death one, where she's like, everyone says I'm the death girl, and it just deals with the concept of death and people being uncomfortable, and that was the closest
like heavy-handed like message. But I really, really loved the way that they approached body image, and especially the episode that I was talking about before, where they enter that piece in the art contest, and it just is like so ahead of its time as far as like the critique of pressure being put on girls to present themselves in a certain way, like pressure for everybody, but like especially for teen girls. And like I just think, what would Daria think about social media? Like what would Daria's social media presence be like? How would she? I think
Daria's a big
navigate
Tumblr girly. She's
oh my god, yeah.
She never bought it out.
I love that. I love Daria as a Tumblr girl. I think that Daria would be a Reddit girl.
Yeah. Okay, so they really do a good job in that one of like calling out like the attention to thinness, but then I was like, there is the episode where the lead girl, is it Sandy?
I can't remember.
I think her name's Sandy, but she like breaks her leg and then she like is bedridden for a week and gets like chubby and goes back to school, and they're super mean to her. And so it like that, I think that one ages not quite as well.
Right.
And then I kind of was thinking about that one and I was like, there's actually no positively represented thicker characters. Like they are all just really thin characters. So it's like, even though the writers tried to address it in like that situation, it's still kind of like fat phobic in some ways, and I think that is kind of, I mean, like it was the early 2000s kind of vibe.
Sure.
And also like in King of the Hill, Bill was like the thicker guy and they were freaking mean to him. So it's like,
yeah, that's really true. I mean, it's interesting in an animated show navigating like the fat phobia stuff, because like the illustrations are just like weird exaggerations of humans. So like they're like, for instance, like Jane, her little legs are not like the real proportion that like
well,
live action human would be.
Not to get off topic, but have you seen BoJack Horseman?
No. That's one of those shows that like I kind of, when it's in the background, I'm like, this is annoying.
Yeah, that one's like heavy and a lot of people think it's really depressing, but there's this one character, Diane, who ends up taking antidepressants in like the last or second to last season, and she does have a significant weight gain, and they end the series with her being heavier, and a lot of people like in the Reddit talk a lot about how they're really happy that they like depicted things that way. So it's like, it's not impossible. And I actually love BoJack for the same reasons I really love Daria, in that it like represents a lot of like social issues of the time really well. But yeah, I don't know. I think that like the anorexia kind of episode, they do a good job, and like they're really cynical in their approach too. Like Daria, like they ruin the art piece in the end, because like they're kind of like, fuck you, you're not gonna censor us and that kind of stuff. So it's like there's no like problem. Like it feels like for Daria, there's not a whole lot of like compromising problem solving going
there's
on.
No resolution. If you're Daria, there's no resolution ever. And that's the thing that's kind of fun about it, is that like nothing really changes around Daria, but like she stays principled. You know what I mean? It's not like she's not even like out on a crusade to like change the world or make people think the way that she thinks. She's just like, this is who I am.
Yeah, sometimes she's just kind of being shitty. Like sometimes, like when she does that documentary on Quinn, when they like follow her around for a day or whatever, like that one, they really just despise her, and it shows. But I love Quinn. Like my favorite thing that Quinn says, I think, is like Daria's got like that rash, and she's like in the bathroom and she's going through her bag and she's like, why do you have all this skin stuff? Your skin looks great. And she's like, yeah, and it's gonna stay that way. And I'm just like, she's got the Tatcha face wash. Like,
she's got it. I love that. I love Quinn.
Like, I love those little, like, I don't know, they just did such a good job with like how the characters interact too, so it's fun.
It's clear that the writers really knew their characters very well. Like they have sort of these archetypes represented, but they don't just stick to every single stereotype that you would imagine. Like we have like the cheerleader, like the dumb cheerleader, but she is still like a fully formed character. And the way that she interacts with every other character is so her. Like, it's just so her, not in a way that's like, oh, that's so dumb cheerleader. Yeah. It's like very specific. And they show her not as like, also not as like a bad person, but just like as someone who is like truly themselves.
Yeah.
With all of their quirks and all the things that make them annoying. And her experience like isn't perfect either. Like high school is hard for everybody. And they do a really good job, I think, of showing that.
I think that the characters really stay true to themselves too, even when they like swap roles for a day. Like, because Quinn like takes on Daria's like kind of like moody aesthetic, but it's like solely for aesthetic purposes. It's just like, I'm getting attention by being a goth bitch now. Exactly. And then Daria gets pissed and cynical and is like, fine, we'll both play that game. I can be hot too. And then like, and I also love that about Daria is like her just like not pressure to like feel hot. Like she has a little crisis about glasses and if like getting rid of
glasses,
her glasses
and the contact. Oh my god.
If she's like vain essentially because she wants contacts and like that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't know, I just love that she's just like dresses kind of plain and but not doing a whole lot every day. And it's just like, it's just nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I like when animated characters wear the same thing every day.
Yeah.
It just makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know?
Makes me want to get rid of most of my clothes.
Same.
Have a uniform.
Makes me want to be a minimalist. Yeah, what if I had a uniform? That would be nice.
It would be easy.
It would be really easy.
You're Steve Jobs.
So true. So true. Love it. How much more brain space would I save? But you know what? Actually, I really like clothes. I like picking something out and being like, isn't this fun? I mean, don't you think that like every once in a while, Steve Jobs wanted to wear like a Hawaiian shirt and be like, well, I can't because I've committed now to this whole thing, you know?
I feel like he probably had a level of like OCD or some sort of organization where he was like, I cannot have a Hawaiian shirt in my closet.
He had some sort of disorder that prevents you from having a Hawaiian shirt.
It was like a black turtleneck with some palm print, and that's like the closest he got.
Or like a Hawaiian shirt, but the print is little like black turtlenecks.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's it. That's the meta.
That's it.
Before he. Yeah.
Before meta. That was, you know.
Yeah. That was the meta before meta.
One other reason that I think Daria ages really well is that. Okay, this is gonna sound a little cliche, but in an age where it feels like nothing fucking matters, I think we need Daria now more than ever. We need Daria.
Yes.
Because she really captures that like suburban late 1990s like nothing matters attitude, but in a way that I think people who are younger than us, people who are in high school now or like have been in high school in the past few years probably could really identify with. Like there is sort of that timeless element of like high school's hard for everybody all of the time, but I think especially when it feels like everything is on fire, we live in an age of like such cynicism and so much negativity and so much pressure to present yourself a certain way and like build your like personal brand.
Yeah.
And Daria just rejects all of that. Yeah. And like I think that she is the hero we need now more than ever.
It just feels simpler. Yeah. There's like I think it's when she goes off to college, but her graduation speech is essentially like there's nothing in life that pizza can't fix or help, and I'm
absolutely.
Like,
girl, so true.
We could use a piece of pizza right now.
Really, you know what this country needs? A slice of pizza.
Bring everyone together, a little pizza party.
There's nothing that brings people together like a pizza party. And that I've always said that. I've always been known to say that. So.
And your graduation speech, actually, that was.
Actually, yeah. You can find it on YouTube, youtube.com/pizza. That's me.
I'm gonna go follow whatever exists at that URL later.
Me too. Oh my gosh, speaking of stuff on YouTube that doesn't age well, are you up to date on Cody Ko? Are you familiar with this person?
No.
Can I tell you about something in current pop culture? Okay, so for the listeners, there may be updated things that we don't know of at the time of this recording. This has nothing to do with Daria, okay? But I'm going to tell you about it anyway. Because it matters. Okay, so, well, I guess, you know what? It does relate to Daria because it's related to high school. Because this guy, his name is Cody Ko. He is a famous YouTuber. He's really successful. He has a house in Malibu. Okay. He's like our age, maybe like a couple years older. And he does a lot of commentary type stuff. He's kind of a comedian type Okay. I don't know if he would identify as a comedian, but he's got that thing.
Identify as a comedian.
And how do you identify? As a comedian?
As a fucking clown, thank you.
As your little clown, thanks. Actually, the other day I was recording with somebody and they were like, "Yeah, so are you a comic?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. Like, I'm not. I'm like a podcaster, and I think I'm kind of funny, but like, no."
What was her name? Oh, I'm gonna fuck her name. Brittany Broski.
Yeah.
She did
she did some videos with him
on Theo Vaughn. She was like, "Why would I do comedy when I could be funny in my house?" And I was like, "Dude, I hate the airport. That's such a good take. Like,
such a good take, dude."
So yeah, fuck the airport. You just be funny at home.
Absolutely, I can be funny right here from the comfort of this couch. Anyway, Brittany Broski. Let's tie it back. Brittany Broski made a couple of videos with Cody Ko. They were like friends, and she actually recently came out with a statement that was like, "Hey, if this stuff is true about Cody, like that's really messed up." And she like took videos down with him. Basically, it's been known for a few years that he allegedly, when he was 25, had sex with a girl who was 17. But it kind of got buried a little bit. And another thing too is he has this he started this podcast, and now he has like a really successful podcast network. So that's like another thing that he does. Very cool. Anyway,
what's he doing?
Well, he's not doing well, I'll tell you that. So this YouTuber who was 17 at the time that she and Cody allegedly slept together, she's like kind of bringing back to light, like kind of reminding people, hey, this happened, because I guess she was doing a live show and someone asked her like, who's the smallest dick that you've ever seen? And she was like, haha, Cody Ko, but I was 17, ha ha ha. Anyway, so
casual.
So now he is in the midst of a potential cancellation, even though canceling people never works. Men who are predatory always bounce back, and that's the world we live in, unfortunately. But it's just really interesting to see how his like lack of response, it sort of reminds me of like when Jonathan Van Ness was like put under fire in that Rolling Stone article a couple months ago, and like ended up just not saying anything, and like now it has kind of blown over, like no one's really talking about it anymore. And I kind of just wonder, if you were in the middle of a scandal, would you come out with a statement, or would you lie low for a little while and maybe just kind of
I would probably address it. It's in my nature.
Yeah. I've got to have the last word, girl.
I don't have to have the last word, but I'm not afraid of confrontation. I don't usually see it as confrontation. I more so see it as problem solving or a way to resolution. So I would probably address it. I don't think I have any scandals that'll come up, hopefully, but
not yet.
Now I guess people will be searching.
They'll be waiting for your response. You know, when the next scandal comes around, they're gonna say, wow, Melissa said I'm gonna make a statement, and look now, where's the statement?
And I'm pretty vocal. I don't think I could just sit by and let stuff blow over. I would have to I'd have to address it.
I also think that if you had any secrets or scandals, you'd tell on yourself. You wouldn't be able to keep it to yourself.
Well, I can keep some secrets, I guess. I don't want people to think I'm just like have no filter.
Sure.
No, I try to. I mean, I usually try to act with integrity. So because like when I was growing up, it was a lot of like, what happens in this house stays in this house. And I firmly believe at this point in my life, if you treat people in the house with respect, there's no reason why there should be secrets about what happens in the house.
Absolutely. So everyone, enough with the secrets.
Yeah, okay? No more. Well, I don't know. Comedy is like catty. Maybe it's good not to be in it because people are just like, it's just like, it's warfare out there,
dude. Just it's brutal out there.
It's wild.
It's brutal out there. I was just watching the episode of The Dark Side of Comedy, that Vice documentary.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
I watched the episode of Norm Macdonald, and it was really, really, really good. Like, I think that he's so funny. I mean, that's not like a hot take, but but it was really interesting seeing how sort of like these people who were connected to like a cancellation experienced the after effects of it. And like how when you're a famous person, especially when you're a famous comedian, and one of your peers does something really fucked up, now it becomes like a PR nightmare and like a question of integrity for you. And I just
like for anyone adjacent. And that I mean it just gets really messy, and it's like I don't know.
I love when people ask my opinion. It's like one of my favorite things in the whole world when someone says, "Can I have your opinion on something?" It's like the sweetest words in the English language. But I don't want to hear, "Can I have your opinion on blah, blah, blah," and their alleged blah, blah, blah. I don't want to have an opinion on that. Don't ask me. That's why I'm not identifying as a comedian.
Look, that might save a lot of trouble. I think that's the way to do it.
Thank you so much. What do you think Daria would be doing now? What would her job be? What'd she do?
Well, so she has like a lot of those daydreams with her future, and in a lot of them Trent is her deadbeat husband and she's like a scientist. I think she would probably be, I don't think she would probably have kids. She never really wanted to have kids. I think Quinn would definitely have kids. She'd be like the cool aunt. She'd be like her aunt is
I agree.
For her nieces and nephews. But I think that she would probably be in something like science-y or like esteemed, like, because her mom was someone to like really look up to, and I think that she's really intelligent and she could like do some science. Like I don't think you have to be motivated to do extracurriculars to do research, and then you have to, like, in research you're required to do certain hours, etc. So that might work well for her.
I agree.
And then also, Jane Lane's just like Jane Lane is probably a burnt out painter trying to make it TikToks and is like hating it.
Oh my god, she hates TikTok, but she has to do it. She has to play the game.
Yep. And she's got a beautiful wife.
Gorgeous. Like gorgeous. And I really hope that her wife is like a trust fund baby or something, so that like she never really has to work again. But she's still like, I mean, she wants to be a successful artist. She wants to, you know, make money in her own right, but at least she doesn't have to.
Or maybe she's doing van life now. She's just like painting impressionist pieces across the states, and she's actually killing it on TikTok.
Wow.
Like TikTok was her medium because she was so ahead of times with the unconsensual streaming.
She was so ahead of her time.
Yeah.
Wow. That's such a great idea. I think she'd be really, really successful.
I always thought Jane Lane was a lot like my friend in middle school. She was artsy. I remember when I met her, she was like, "Do you want to be emo with me?" And I was like,
"What an invitation."
I don't know what that means, but she's like, "It means like emotional."
I love that.
And I wore sweat wristbands that had Green Day lyrics, and
let's go.
It was it.
That is so cool.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
That's the validation I've always needed.
Melissa, will you be emo with me?
Yes, I will.
Wow.
It's like a proposal. Like I should have brought a sweatband.
Yes. Yeah, you should have brought your Green Day sweatband.
Fuck. They smell awful if they're still around.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that they do gather sweat.
They were sweaty, yes.
They were sweaty. Yeah, you do have to wash them.
And from crying about boys in middle school. Everything. Wiping my tears. But
so sad. Okay, who's your favorite character in this show? Who's your favorite character in Daria? It's okay if it's Daria.
I used to think it was Daria, but sometimes it's Helen, and sometimes it's Daria's aunt. I feel like the older I get, the more I also relate to her aunt, because I'm like, I'm not gonna have kids. My best friend is gonna have kids for us.
Love that.
And then I'm just gonna watch them and auntie and spoil them rotten, and that's kind of the vibe.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, I love that. I do think though that like the way they end it, because there's that, have you seen the whole series?
Yeah.
So the episode where it like actually talks about why Daria's like socially not in tune is like the whole box thing where it like addresses her childhood trauma of like being in the box.
In the box.
Or whatever. Yeah. And I always just was like, oh, Daria has trauma. It makes sense. Like,
and she's the kind of person that would be like, oh, why is everyone talking about everything like it's their trauma?
Yeah, but yeah. Like, she would be like, oh, get over it. You're fine, kind of shit. So, yeah, I think that Daria is relatable at the end of the day. I think there's a lot to relate. Because they cover everything. They cover, like, beauty standards, and they cover, like, expectations and perfectionism and like that kind of stuff. I think my one of my favorite episodes is the one where they are camping, and then when they drive away, it's like Sandy chasing the bus, and she's like, no. Like, that's so funny every time. I love it. I think she trips and falls in the mud, and you're just like, she deserves it. She's so mean. Like,
she deserved it.
And then I think I have one other favorite one, but I always skip the holiday one.
Oh,
I hate that one.
Yeah.
I think my boyfriend was like, I like this one. I was like, I hate this one.
You're like, well,
this
that's stupid because it's bad.
No, we watched it because he said he liked it. But
that's really nice that you did that. Yeah.
We compromise.
Something that Daria would never do.
Yeah, she'd turn it off.
She'd say, no, I'm not watching it.
I do think Sick Sad World would be an incredible real segment to have. I think it would hit really well, especially in these times.
Now more than ever. I bet there's got to be somebody on TikTok
doing a fake Sick
Sad World. And if they're not,
there's an opportunity.
I
bet it's not trademarked.
It's
because I got this at Ragstock.
Yeah.
So they printed it. Okay, I don't think it's trademarked.
I think that is a gap in the market that needs to be filled if it's not filled already.
I agree. I'll look into it. I'll get back to you. I'll report back on the logistics.
Thank you so much, and we'll launch this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Take it to Gordon Ramsay. He's doing like a Shark Tank food game show situation.
A Shark Tank food game show.
Yeah, it's like food Shark Tank ideas, but then you have to compete against a team for who wins $250,000. Oh
my god!
And I'm like, I gotta come up with a food business and meet this man.
Hello, sharks.
Hello.
That's what you're gonna say to Gordon Ramsay.
I'll just bring sharks. No, that can't be ethical. Okay, no. So you gotta work on it.
Yeah. See, we have things to work on. Always room to grow. I did read that. That for test audiences, MTV felt like their core audience at the time was 18 to 24-year-olds. And so they were actually kind of upset that in focus groups, middle school aged participants were the ones who really loved Daria the most. And I thought that was so sweet that they made it anyway. And at the time, there were 4 other animated pilots that were pitched to MTV.
Yeah.
And so they did all these focus groups, and Daria was the favorite by far. And I just love thinking about like a little middle school boy being like, oh, I'm going to watch the Beavis and Butthead spinoff, and then watching this like earnest, funny show about a teenage girl. I'm like, yeah, I love that.
I do too. I think it was good. I've read a lot too about how like they were always kind of in limbo at any point in the animation in that part of MTV, so they never knew if they were going to get to make more. There were like spin-offs planned and stuff. Like I think even like a few years ago there was an internet rumor that Jodie was going to get her own spin-off. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot what you asked, honestly. I kind of went off a tangent.
I was just saying that with test audiences, that Daria did really well.
Oh, yeah. I think that if I had seen it in middle school, I would have also loved it.
Oh, my God. Same.
I think it would have been the cool thing, right?
Yeah.
It would have been very Happy Bunny. Kind of.
Yeah.
It would have been at Hot Topic. It should have been at Hot Topic. Why wasn't there more Daria at Hot Topic? That seems to be a mistake on the marketing team's front.
Big mistake.
And it's not there now because now it's just anime. So we don't even get Daria at Hot Topic at all.
Where can we get Daria if not at Hot Topic? That is so disappointing.
I think you can get it's either like Dolls Kill or like one of those like yeah, the way you laughed says it, like it's one of those like with the big
yeah
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's thin and it will fall apart after one time in the dryer.
Of course. Yeah. It's not just do not machine wash. It's just do not wash.
Don't wash it ever.
Don't wash. Don't wear it.
One use, single use clothing.
Single use only. Fast fashion. Single use only. Well, disposable.
I've been trying to get into sewing more, so I could maybe cut out a blob.
Wow. Do you really need another project?
No. But I could have one because the shelf life, like they last so long. Like the other day I bought a bunch of straws, like metal straws, and just for like smoothies and stuff. And then I was like, I need a cup for these straws, so I went and bought clay to make a cup for these straws. And my boyfriend was like, "Why are you gonna make a cup?" And I was like, "Maybe in next March I will make a cup."
You're like that trad wife influencer that's like, my kids asked me for gum, so I tried to figure out how do I make gum from scratch.
Yeah, that is
or
me.
Like
yeah.
Like, my husband wanted to play frisbee, so I made a frisbee.
Yeah, so I learned how to resin mold, and
that's you
on
with your
Amazon.
cups.
You can get the silicone mold.
You're like, I thought to myself, I'd like a smoothie, so I went to the craft store and I bought some clay.
yeah. I also like, I have this bikini. I used to like pay a bunch of money for like really, I don't think they were high end because when I got them in the mail, they didn't seem all that much better, but they costed a lot. And some of them just never actually fit right, but I like ordered them from France, so like the return shipping was insane.
They rely on that. They rely on you
the
to
DHL shit.
Yeah.
So I had to like so there's this one bikini, and it's because you can't buy thong bikinis in Colorado, and I like thong bikinis.
Yeah, totally.
So
in Colorado they say we don't want to see your ass cheeks.
They don't.
Say,
I'm sorry, I don't care.
But I don't care.
Thank you. So there's this one though that like the thong part is too big, so it's just like loose.
It's
there.
Loose.
So I was like, I'm gonna have to
that's
cut it
and
you really
sew
don't,
it and
you
fix
don't
it. Want that.
You
to
cannot
be
just be
loose.
like labes hanging out. So I had to. I like unstitched it, bought red thread to fucking sew it back, like measured it right, pinned it up, and then I was just like, fuck it, I could do anything, man. Like that's the
you're unstoppable.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I can try almost anything.
Yeah,
I think, and bikinis. So now I'm gonna just make my own.
You're gonna make your own swimsuits?
So, because I was like, this was so much money, and I found this website called Blackbird Fabrics, I think, and it's not sponsored at all. See, it feels like that was a sponsored moment, but it's not.
It did. Hashtag not an ad.
Not an ad. But they sell swim stretch material and chlorine resistant elastic. Oh. And it's actually just so little material to make what I'm trying to make.
That's so true.
It's a couple of triangles.
Yeah.
You know?
And especially anyone who has small tits, just make your own bikini.
Yeah.
How much money could it be?
You just have to buy a sewing machine. But the Facebook Marketplace, sometimes somebody's just like, this has been sitting around, take it. So,
wow.
You know?
Well,
you can make anything. In Fort Collins, they got a class. They'll teach you how to make shoes.
Really?
Yeah. If you want to go. We're going to have we have Daria shoes, leave with matching kicks.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
I can.
I really changed my whole life and become a cobbler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's open a cobble shop next door.
Oh my God. We'll call it Dude ID Cobble.
We'll work on it. Dude ID Clog. No, we sound like plumbers. See, we'll work.
Dude ID Unclog. Well, with a K. Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Yeah.
It's Dude ID Craft.
Wow.
The crafting segment.
That'll
be $500. Thank you, Nick. You liked it.
Oh, he loved it. He's throwing money at us right now.
I wish someone would throw money at me.
If only someone, please. God, what was I just gonna say about the crafts? Oh yeah, I really want to be crafty. It seems like a really cool girl thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
Everything you could want to try, you can pretty much get into for less than $100. A lot of them far cheaper. Yeah. So I just try to get the like most basic version of it. If you just need a little crochet kit from Michael's, a little Pokemon crochet, whatever, just start with like the minimum barrier to entry version of what you're doing.
Thank you. Because I know how to knit, but I always feel like, I'm not going to knit another scarf because scarves are so easy. I need to make something that is like more.
I love knitting scarves. Last year I knitted like 6 scarves, and I just got the biggest, chunkiest, softest yarn and just gifted it. And then I would sit there and watch TV and not feel as bad about rotting my brain.
You're doing something.
Because I'm producing Christmas. I'm an elf. Like what?
I am an elf busy at work.
Yes. No one can get mad.
No one gets mad at a little elf. Obviously.
Well, you have to do things you want to with it. You like. Maybe you don't want to knit. That's okay.
Well, here's the thing is like when infinity scarves were a big thing, that was a really big moment for me in knitting.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think you're gonna find me in an infinity scarf.
Well, someone in Fort Collins will, because they are popular in the winter. I saw my bracelets at a little boutique called Kansas City Kitty.
Love them.
And it's very cute. And so cute. They have all kinds of little jewelry and shit. But in the winter, I went in there and I was like, shit, they're selling scarves. I should have got on it sooner, because I was making bigger, thicker scarves where I was like, chonkers. I was like, I could throw some scarves up in here. Yeah. And they take a cut or whatever, but it's like, if you calculate your materials and stuff, you just make like 20 scarves, take them up there, sell them. Those Fort Collins women, they love infinity scarves.
Shout out to my mom and all of my friends who are in Fort Collins.
They're in high demand.
My mom does love scarves. For a long time, that's what I would get her for like every gift for every holiday. I would just get her scarves, and then I was like, enough with the scarves. I've worn it out at this point. Scarves and cookbooks. I would kind of alternate between the two.
Ooh, I love cookbook. Cookbook is a good Christmas gift.
It's a good Christmas gift.
I need a Mediterranean one.
Well,
just so you know.
Your birthday is coming up.
What do you want?
Well, this won't come out before my birthday, but I would
do the shoot class. Oh no, sorry. You tell me.
Oh my god, that's such a great idea. I really want Claire Saffit's book, Dessert Person. I really want that cookbook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a little cookbook swap. There you go.
All right. Great.
On Dude ID Craft.
Dude ID Cook.
Yes.
Yep.
He's not paying.
Yeah. If you aren't paying attention, you'll miss some of the best
ideas. He just
ideas.
looked at me after I said that. I feel like my dad caught me doing something wrong. Talking shit.
Well, we've got a lot of big ideas here. I'll say that for sure. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else that we didn't cover today that you feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta tell the listeners?
I don't think so. I think it's like, I think that like, okay, yes, Daria's relatable, etc. But Daria is like, it's just a comfort show, you know?
Yes, it's really easy to watch.
Yeah, even I think it's because there's not a lot of high pitched noises and voices.
Yes, that is the key.
But I think it's like, even if some of these things didn't age well, we can still get comfort from them, and that's gonna be okay.
in this economy,
if it comes with the streaming, you gotta take advantage.
You gotta take advantage.
But yeah, I have like I guess also just be wary if you're gonna buy the DVD collection on Amazon. It just might not work, and then you'll try to exchange it, and you'll get another one that doesn't work. So careful. Are you
gonna learn how to make DVDs now since you can't return it?
Well, now I just don't have a DVD player either, so it's like they just exist on my bookshelf as like a decor.
Yeah, it's just like a cool kitschy thing to be like, I have the Daria.
But yeah, there's just I think it's just like, there's nothing in life a little pizza can't fix is a really good lesson.
So true.
If you're ever having a crisis, you need a calorie, a piece of pizza will do it. And
absolutely.
It's kind of it.
That's kind of it. There's nothing a piece of pizza can't fix. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god.